Hey everyone, this is Fran from the 5 Minute Modeler. I hope you're doing well today. A while back, I posted a video on some free resources for your model railroad. Here's a link to that video, and it's also in the comment section. I got a lot of positive comments about that video, and so I went back out to see what other free resources there were to help you in your model railroading adventure. So let's jump in and see what we have. And by the way, I'm not paid or compensated in any way for any of these products or web pages. One of the big interests in model railroading is track planning. In the previous episode, I highlighted several track planning software programs that were free, but not everyone has the desire or inclination to use these programs. There are several websites that actually offer free track plans for various scales. While you may not want to build one exactly like the plan, they can often provide information and ideas you can incorporate into your own design. Some of these include trains.com, which has a track plan database that has hundreds of track plans. Many of these were published in Model Railroader magazine. And another one that is on trains.com is actually called 101 Track Plans for Model Railroaders. And it is actually a book by Lynn Westcott, who used to be the editor of Model Railroader magazine and for many years was one of the pioneers in the hobby. They've published his book in PDF format. It's absolutely free, and it's on the trains.com website. These layouts are anywhere from small 2x4 to 4x8 to full-size room layouts. Many have drawings of the layout with landscape and building features included, as well as some thoughts on each layout. He also offers several ways to scale it to your appropriate scale. It's an old book, but it's pretty interesting and I think was ahead of its time for the day. The SCARM site has numerous layouts that were made with its software, and another website, www.freetrackplans.com, includes over 400 track plans, primarily in HO scale, but these can be easily modified. And there's others. You can just search for free model railroad track plans in Google, and you'll come up with some other organizations that have similar type of free track plans. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about is scenery. And us model railroaders, we're often a thrifty bunch, always looking for the least expensive way to do something. And one of the ways we can do that is to find free materials for the layout. The key to using Mother Nature's materials are to make sure you're scaling the material to the appropriate size. For many of the materials, you'll want to prepare the material so that any of Mother Nature's other creatures won't invade your layout. So what am I talking about here? Well, number one, dirt. Common dirt is often used by modelers around the world. Dirt from the yard or a park can be sifted to the appropriate scale and glued to your scenery. Small rocks can also be used with realistic results if you use care in picking rocks to the right scale, size, and color. Pine bark has been used to make convincing stratified rock walls, and tree or shrub branches can be used to make armatures for scale model trees. Sagebrush, sedum, crepe myrtle, and others have been used successfully. I've used spirea branches trimmed from my shrubs to make hundreds of trees for my layout. Another interesting aspect of model railroading is signs. Signs and billboards and the like add really interesting details to a layout. Many modelers use these to help set the time frame for their model railroad. A user by the name of Tomcat has posted hundreds of signs, probably thousands actually, on one of the model railroad forums, and I'll have a link to that in the notes section. You may need to size these appropriately for your scale and make adjustments to your printer to get the quality shown on the web page. But the quality of these is great. Rooftops and buildings are another area that are seen all the time on our models, especially the rooftops. Several modelers are using Google Maps Street View and satellite views to create realistic models of buildings and rooftops. One can print these out and then glue to the side or the top of foam core or some other material, and the result is an extremely detailed building or rooftop. Speaking of buildings, our layouts typically require a lot of buildings. Buying kits can be expensive, and we may not always find the building we envision. Another option is cardboard or paper models of buildings. These can be downloaded and printed on your printer, then cut out and glued to cardboard or other form. These can be a great time and money saver. Most of the producers of these offer several free models to get users to try them out. Backdrops on the layouts provide depth to the scene. While there's numerous companies that offer backdrops for sale, some 8 to 10 feet or longer, you may be able to create a stunning backdrop on your own by printing images from Google Maps Street View. If you start with a backdrop that is painted with a sky blue color paint, you can use these scenes to enhance your backdrop. You can piece together multiple images from Google and create a very convincing and enhanced backdrop. You may have to size them appropriately, print them, and cut the sky out. Scenic details can also be made with very common everyday materials that you come across. Many modelers have used straws, tubes, coffee stirrers, popsicle sticks, matchsticks, tongue depressors, other common materials to make elements for their layouts. Of course, you want to make sure the items that you make are in scale to your particular layout. Several people in the last episode indicated they had obtained materials from local residential construction site dumpsters, where you can often find insulation foam board, plywood scraps, and other helpful materials. Well, not for everybody, and I would strongly suggest getting permission from the contractor on site first, and only remove things from a dumpster. I've personally obtained large pieces of 2-inch foam board and various pieces of lumber for my layouts in this way. And the last item I have, and I didn't put it in the last one because I'll mention at the end of this, but in the previous episode I mentioned there were several free model railroad magazines. I found another one that while the entire magazine is not free, there are around 25 to 35 pages per edition that are free. This magazine is called Trackside Model Railroading. They publish each month and typically highlight several layouts and projects, most with minimal text and maximum pictures. They also have posted numerous videos on YouTube on these layouts as well. These are professionally shot and often have discussions with the layout's owner. There are over 300 videos on this page covering pretty much all the scales. One note I had trouble though connecting to their website for the magazine periodically. Some days it'll connect, some days there's a database error. So if you have that issue, then you may need to try a bit later. I did read recently that the February 2025 issue is available, so I know that they are still publishing content. There are likely many other sites or places to get free modeling supplies and ideas, so share those in the comments that you have found. In the meantime, again, I've listed all of these sites in the video description below. I hope you find some of these helpful, and thanks for joining another episode of the 5-Minute Modeler.